Hey everybody, welcome to the campsite. We got a real treat in store for you today.
Yes, we do. We have a viewer, her name is Rhonda, and she has been requesting an old-fashioned cobbler, and Blackberry is her favorite. So Rhonda, this one's for you. We are making Blackberry cobbler today.
Yes, we are. I only wish you could smell and taste it over the TV.
Okay, so who's ready to get going on the old-fashioned Blackberry cobbler? I'm sure Rhonda is. So we have about three and a half, anywhere between 3 and 4 cups of blackberries in here. And this is a half a cup of sugar. So we're gonna dump the sugar on those blackberries and just give them a little quick toss to coat them. And this is gonna sit there. It says let them sit for a half an hour, but you don't have to let them sit a half an hour. We're not gonna let them sit a half an hour. But if you have the time at home, you certainly can. So we're just gonna let those sit here while we mix everything else up. And they're coated pretty good. And you could always snag one of these out of here right now. They really feel like that. Okay, so we're just gonna set that over there.
I was gonna say I have the time, but not the patience.
Okay, in this bowl I have 1 1/4 cups of Pioneer baking mix. We are not sponsored by Pioneer Baking Mix, but I'm thinking maybe we should be. So we have 1 1/4 cups of Pioneer Baking Mix and 1/3 cup of extremely fine chopped pecans. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Extremely fine.
I mean, there's some bigger pieces there, but for the most part, they're fine. Okay, and we're just gonna give that a little stir along with 1/4 cup of sugar. So the recipe calls for 3/4 cup of sugar divided. A half a cup is on the blackberries, 1/4 cup is in what's going to make our cobbler dough.
And I'll put all this text up on the screen, but
Sure. This is extremely easy. There's not much of anything that actually goes in here. So we've got, to this, we're going to add about 3/4 cup of milk. And I'm using canned milk again just because it's easier when you're camping, you know. You don't have to worry about keeping it in the refrigerator until you use it. And
very true.
so we're just gonna give this a stir. And in that pan, can you see that pan there, Gino?
The blackberry pan?
The pan with the butter in it.
Oh, absolutely. You want me to? Yeah, it's in full view.
Okay, I might
That's
be wrong.
one stick of melted butter in that baking dish.
So I don't have a 1/4 cup measure down here, so I'm just eyeballing this, but it's 3/4 cup is actually what it takes. And that's about what it's going to look like. Now we're going to take this and we're not going to get picky about it. Sorry, this is a little hot. And our table isn't too level, so I'm going to dump it on this side first so it pushes some of that butter over to the other side.
Yeah,
but
it's hard to find a level spot in the woods.
Well, and I really don't like it level either because then, you know, the water sits and it stays wet.
So the batter just gets dumped in on top of the one stick of melted butter.
You don't mix it together. You don't do anything. You're just going to dump this batter in there.
Easy peasy.
So it's really super easy. Now cobblers, there are all different ways to make cobblers. I'd like to do a little research after I got to thinking about doing this video here. I'd like to do a little research about the different kind of cobblers and how the original cobbler was. You know, it's called a cobbler because it gets a cobblestoned appearance. It gets a cobblestoned appearance. I'm just going to scoot a little of this over in this corner here. A cobblestone appearance, the batter comes up over the top of the fruit. But some people make it where they have the fruit in the bottom and then like a topping kind of like this poured on top. Some people make it with the fruit on the bottom, thickened with a little cornstarch like pie, and where you pinch off pieces of almost like pie dough and you put it in there. Some people actually put it in there and just put pie dough on top. Everybody does cobbler different. We're going to add, hold on, right before we do this, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, I think I told you the cap on a vanilla measures a teaspoon. So we're going to take a teaspoon of vanilla, dump it over our berries, and toss them one more time. I like vanilla with my blackberries. If you don't care for the flavor of vanilla with your blackberries, don't put it in there. I just think vanilla is awesome in desserts because it gives it that warm, comforting kind of flavor. That's just what I think, but to each his own. So we're just gonna.
I love the smell of it too.
So we're just gonna take these berries, and we're gonna just kind of sprinkle these berries in here. Doesn't matter how. But yeah, blackberry and vanilla, that goes. I think they even make hand soap that's blackberry and vanilla. Candles. Hard to beat blackberry and vanilla.
It sure did a job on those pancakes, I'll tell you that.
Oh
but when we were kids, we never had pancakes without vanilla.
These are fresh blackberries. If I were using frozen blackberries, some people would just dump everything in there, but what I do is when you thaw those blackberries, you get a lot of juice. And I actually drain about half of that juice off through a wire strainer, and I save that juice, and I cook it with some sugar until it's a little thick, and I make homemade blackberry syrup, and then stick it in the fridge and save it for pancakes. And it's unbelievable. You can actually can it if you wanted to make just blackberry syrup. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just clean out this bowl. I got a little sugar in there because it didn't sit for a half an hour. It didn't draw the juice out of the berries, but the juice is gonna come out of those berries as it cooks anyway.
Once again, a low-cal dessert here.
Yeah. Well, this isn't as bad as
now you got me thinking about you got me thinking about blackberry pancakes with blackberry syrup.
There you go. So we're going to go ahead, and if you had a rubber scraper, you could have scraped that out, but I don't have one down here with me, so we're just going to call that good. We're going to take this and we're going to put it in our camp oven at 350 degrees, and we're just going to wait, and we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And oh man, it's hard not to tear into it when it's hot, but you have burnt mouth if you do. Hot. We could have let this go a little bit longer on the top, but the bottom was getting about as brown as we cared to get it.
Oh man, it looks awesome. Okay, here we go. Amazing. Amazing. Blackberry cobbler. This is just awesome. Especially done in the woods in a little camp oven. Guys, try this at home. I hope it turns out for you. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. It helps the channel. And until next time, we'll see you at the campsite.